but it's rocking on something. There's a fulcrum right here. When I push it down on the front and the back, it's rocking on something right along in here. Oh, I see it. There's a little mark right there, and it's hitting this little ring, this little retaining ring that locks this mechanism together. I think it's time for me to put this rear mounting lug in, because it just is. I've got to get the height established to know where this is going to sit, because this bolt works great unless you put a little pressure down on it and then it's jammed. So I need to know where the proper height of the back of this thing is. With the aid of having the old stock, I have marked where this the depth, where the stock, where this goes down into the stock from here down, and this is exposed from this tape line up. The back of the inside of this thing sits in an inset position in the stock, and this is flush with the top of the stock. It just rolls right off, and the stock is a continuous line. Even with that, it forms a tangent. This rear part is milled out on an angle. You can see that angle because there's a bolt that comes in there, and this is perpendicular to that bolt line. Now they have drilled that hole from up in here going this way down into the back of this. Now they've got a machine set up, and that's all it does. I've got to create that, and it's really difficult to do that. So before I go any further with this, I've got to mount this in there. Now this surface, this is flat, and this is a established surfaced, and so I can take for granted that this surface goes to the top of that, the bottom of that tape line, and that's accurate. And then when this touches this, it locks in. There's a lug, this bottom little hook right here, it sits on that. So I have to establish this to know where the back elevation of this rear of this receiver goes. This is a really highly engineered piece of machinery. If you're making these stocks with a machine that makes nothing but these, that's one thing. But when you're trying to make this thing by hand, this is a real bear. So I've inletted this as much as I think I need to. I won't know for sure until I mount this. So that's got to be next. Getting this thing out of here is tough, because you got to pull this bolt handle back and hold it back while you bring this up and out. And it's fine if you got two healthy hands, but one of mine got busted up here a couple weeks ago. This mounting hole punches all the way through for the bolt. If I could get a mark inside there, that would tell me about where I've got to drill. Yeah, I got a pretty good pencil line. Actually, I got about 3 of them. Hit the one in the middle, right? This bolt comes in through the buttstock, typical like a shotgun. But that 1/4 inch hole starts here and comes out back here, and that's going to be one difficult drill. I have never put a hole through a full length stock. Most times it's a shotgun, stops right there, I can line up and drill, but wow. Alright, with this thing laid on its side, and with that thing laid in place, and me guessing at where this barrel is sitting halfway, about where it goes up and down this way. Holding this flat down on the flat of that wood, this is about the most unscientific measurement I've ever gotten in my life. I've got the center of this bolt right here marked, and the end of it where it goes in, because it's a big hole here and a small hole here. Now, I know that I set this mounting lug in and drew a line inside that hole. I know I did that a while ago, but I have put a guide point in here that's going to make me hopefully a little bit better. This is a guide point. All right, it's just something with the same threads that goes in there, the same threads as the mounting bolt, but it's got a point ground on it. It's that little point. Hey, that yellow band-aid's good for something. It shows up. And I can put that thing in place and leave that point sticking out just a little bit, and I can tap it, and that'll give me a little mark right where that point touches the back of the wood. If I can get it in the right place. The only thing is, it's on an angle, so it's going to be, I don't know what that angle is from here to there, probably not over about 12, 14 degrees. I'd say whoever did these things at the factory had a bracket that they set right up here and had that drill going down at a prescribed angle. Doesn't have to be hard. Just a good solid tap. That made me a pretty good little indentation there. That's about where that pencil mark was. It is the middle one. I had 3 marks there and I hit the one in the middle. That's a good thing. Normally, mounting bolts are 5/16, and this used to be a 1 foot drill bit, and I brazed this tip onto it and made it I don't know, 20 inches long. I don't have a 1/4 inch like that, but I'm going to go as far as I can, and I may chase it with this one. It's not going to hurt to drill it a teeny bit oversized. I've got a line out the side here where I can look and reference that. Hopefully I'll be able to well, it came out. Now, I'll explain all the gyrations I went through to make that thing come out. It's in a pretty good place. I can't complain about where it came out. It's not perfect, but it's really good. I had to change drills because this is a teeny bit smaller body right here than the other drill I had. Both of them are Makitas, but this one's older and it's a little bit smaller right there. And this body was rubbing along the inside of this this sharp edge right here, and I didn't want that. And then it got so hard to push it through there, I put some paraffin wax on this thing while it was hot, and that paraffin melts and runs down it. So it made it slick to where I could drill that hole. This mounting washer is 0.72, so that's less than 3/4. This is a 3/4 inch bit. Now this little pilot I welded on there follows the hole that I just drilled. So what I'll do is put this into the hole that came out the back and drill forward until I hit this mark. This mark tells me that's my depth stop. That tells me where the back of this shoulder's out and this bolt comes in here. I usually stop about 1/8 of an inch short of that so that I can, if I need to, I can always deepen it, but it's kind of hard to add. You can add, if you have to in a crunch, you can add washers in here onto this bolt and build it back if it's sticking out too far of it. I need to go in approximately right there at the front edge of that blue tape. This little 5/16 bolt that I welded onto this bit just follows that hole. It's a pilot. I don't know how other people do this, but this is what I've figured out, and it works pretty good. if all this works like I want it to, this will go in there and find the center of that hole, and it'll come out in there, and it'll stick out far enough that these threads here, they will receive it. So it comes in like so, and then that bolt comes in and it'll receive that and pull it, draw it back. One step at a time. Okay, I just shook that bolt down and it ended up right in the middle of that hole. So I need to drill this hole here a little bit deeper, just a touch, maybe a touch and a half. It's going to be tough to film because I'm going to be down working inside there. You may have to just take my word for it, because I gotta do some serious milling in here by hand with a chisel. That's a before, and this piece with all of this milling around here has got to fit in there like so. All right, I have deepened the other end of this hole to let this thread stick out that much. Now I can spin this. I've got a screwdriver on this other end of it. I'm going to put a little drop of oil in these threads. They're going to get screwed in and screwed out several times over the next few days. I don't want them getting dry and damaging those threads. Then I'm going to slip this thing in. This is the first trial. The thread's just engaged. It's awfully stiff though. Something really tight about it. I don't think I'm going to keep going. A little more snug than what I wish it was. It's actually pushing this thing this way. So my hole is apparently off center, and I need to drift that hole that way to allow this thing to sit over some. And I can do that with a file, a round rasp. I can go in there and move that. It needs to go up, oh my goodness, maybe a 30-second. Yeah, I can look down at the bolt and see it's off center to my left. Stuff like this is a process, and it rarely ever works itself out really quickly in one shot.